Hi, my name is Ravi Chinsky, and currently I attend New York College of Osteopathic Medicine. For most of my life, I've been a pretty bad test taker, whether it was the SAT or the MCAT, and what have you. And so for DO students, we have to take the COMLEX exam, which is the equivalent to the Step 1 exam of MDs in allopathic medicine. Now, going into this exam, I was obviously frightened because I've just not been a great test taker. So naturally, I wasn't looking forward to taking this test. And the test is 9 hours long and has 400 questions. So understandably so, it's not fun. Now, throughout this process, as we all have as medical students, we all have our different sources. And I did too. However, one big source, which is why I'm making this video today, is called Physeo. Now, Physeo is a source that essentially provides you with the physiology and all of its aspects to cardiology, nephrology, pulmonology, neurology, and reproductive, as well as endocrine systems. And what also makes it amazing is they added a biochemistry section, a genetics section, an anatomy section, and biostatistics. By the way, I'm speaking all this off the top of my head. And I recently took these exams, so I'm just speaking from what wasn't too far ago. And I'll tell you, the physiology section's the thing I love the most about this as a source for physiology as well as pathophysiology is that they don't put more than what you need. There's certain sources that I had experiences with that would overburden you. Textbooks also overburden you with material. They fluff it all up, and sometimes it's hard to tell what you need, what you don't need. With Physeo, they gave you simple pictures. They gave you simple concepts. They took very advanced concepts, simplified it to a way that you could manage it and really remember it. If you wanted to draw a quick diagram on the exam, you could. And I definitely appreciated that. So that was great. They threw in some pharmacology ties, and while it wasn't a pharmacology resource, those pharmacology ties were very big. Same with the pathology ties. Again, they were big, but while there weren't many of them, the ones that were there were extremely important. And same with pharmacology, same with micro, they did it. Speaking of micro, they added a new microbiology section. I can't say that I have used that, so I do not know. But I saw that they were trying to make it kind of a more sketchy style to base it on more visual aids, which I found was helpful throughout that process, especially during the genetic sections where they go through genetic diseases with sketches. And I thought one of the absolute best things, if we're not even talking physiology and pathophys, was the biochem section. I mean, they broke down all these processes into simple diagrams, simple formulas, like point blank, like here's what you need, go get it. They had different colors for different vitamin cofactors. For the genetics sections, again, very simple. They now added sketches to it to help you with visual aids, which I thought was also helpful. Biostatistics, they didn't just give you the simple specificity, sensitivity formulas. They really explained how to derive it. So if you forgot the formulas like I did, I was able to easily derive those on the test and have absolutely no problems with those. Now again, all of these said, they were extremely helpful to me. And I thought what made it really helpful is certain sources have, and textbooks will literally tell you, hey, for neurology, allot 30 to 40 hours, that kind of thing. The section here, the video portion of it was about, I think, 10 minutes or so. Sorry, not 10 minutes, 10 hours or so. And they really put the most important stuff. They put really high yield diagrams into their work. They also have an anatomy section now as well, which was also helpful because anatomy is a big part of COMLEX as well as STEP. And so that was important, and they gave really nice, simple diagrams. And obviously most medical students, especially us, we had cadavers where we had to do everything. And as we know, the body has a lot of different variations. But on these tests, they always give you the perfect variation. And so naturally, Physio gave you all the perfect variations that you really needed to know. With that said, I really appreciated it as a resource, as in med school, I guess this is a little tooting for myself now. In med school, I definitely, percentage-wise, was probably in the top third of my class every year. There's a scholars program at my school that was very prestigious and hard to get into, and I'm pleased that I got into that. And Physio definitely played a factor in my academic successes. And even on COMLEX, which I ultimately scored a 550 on. So according to the calculator, that's a 61st percentile. Now, I know a lot of people who might be gunners are thinking, hey, 61st percentile, that's not much. But when I started this whole process, I was passing on COMLEX is 400. The max is an 800, but nobody really gets higher than a 700 kind of deal. I started out with 6 weeks until that exam, or 5 weeks until that exam, at around a 400, and I ended with a 550. A 400 would have literally been passing and put me at like some 20th percentile number probably. I don't want to quote that. However, I could say the 550, according to the website, was actually the 61st percentile, which, okay, if you're trying to go for dermatology or ENT or stuff like that, it's not going to be good enough for you. But for what I want to do, which is emergency medicine and potentially family medicine or internal, those kinds of options, you have the world of options. And I wouldn't have been given those if I didn't have Physio, which played a lot into my success. And I'm very fortunate for it. And I'm also very fortunate for Mr. Steve Harding, who was very kind to me throughout the process. And the staff of Physio, very receptive. If you ever have suggestions for them on the videos, you see any typo kind of things, or you just want to, talk about kind of different parts of the materials, they're open to it. And I think that's what makes it amazing, that they're not just a resource that wants to make things easier for med school students. They also want to be there for med school students. And it's also pretty affordable too. So I definitely want to thank Mr. Steve Harding for being there for me in this process. I want to thank Physio for being a part to my success. And I wish everybody who does watch this and stuck with me through this 7.5, probably close to 8-minute video, I want to thank all of you for not only watching this, but I wish you all really the best of luck in your endeavors, and Physio on.